Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick-and-mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I'm passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love, because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you are meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Inspire and Move podcast. Today, we are joined in our home studio with your favorite duo, Matt and Ali.
Our favorite duo.
Their favorite duo?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
They're listening to the show.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
And they get both of us. And today's episode is all about why action beats great intentions.
Every single time, right? Intentions are easy. They're glorified thoughts, really. Actions and moving it into action is what makes things a little bit more tangible, and by extension, makes it more difficult. And the truth is, whether it's life or fitness, business, action will always beat the greatest of intentions, right? Like an ounce of action is stronger than a pound of intention.
100%. Like you can have that perfect plan. You can have, you journal it all. You can have the YouTube videos saved or the TikTok videos that are your inspo. But until you actually move on that and take the action, nothing changes.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a fun little podcast to talk about what actions you can take to beat just the stagnant feeling of what intention or how intention can have you laying, and how to stop overthinking and how to start showing up consistently. And this is probably one of the most important things, when it's not the perfect time, when you are not quote unquote ready, because here's a spoiler alert, you're never going to be. So something's got to push through and get to the other side, whether you're feeling it's the perfect time or not.
We have another episode that's coming out talking exactly about that, about taking action and starting before you're ready, especially if it is even a role that has come your way, and saying yes to that role, even if you're not ready, and what you can do in that growth season. But for today, and actually even a quick little personal story I'll share, is my recent visibility masterclass.
You crushed it, by the way.
Thank you so much. And I loved doing it. And it was something that masterclass, aka webinar. I just really like the name masterclass. And it was a free event that people could attend online. And I had sort of thought about it, but then I was like, I don't know if I want to do it. Like the intention was there. And then you mentioned like how you should really do it. You should do it. And then I took action on it. But for the first little bit, it was just a thought and intention, but with no follow through. And I am so glad I took action on it. And as soon as I put it out actually on Instagram to say and make that commitment that like, hey, I'm hosting this masterclass it was a Thursday night, and I think I made the announcement on Monday. Did I have a slide deck ready to go? No. Now, I did have an offer that I've been working on, and so that's a big part of this 6-week visibility accelerator, which I am so excited about. And it is live. Doors are open, so all of the details will be in the show notes. And I've been just so pumped about that program. But this was a big part of it, of how, okay, I wanted to provide some free value to people, and I'm going to have that prepared. But absolutely, I took the action before I was truly ready. I didn't have anything prepared for it. But by making that intention known to my followers and my community, then I had a fire under my ass to get everything done that I needed to have done in order to deliver a great online experience.
Yeah, and what's that saying where I think necessity is the mother of all invention, where essentially once you knew you needed it, it had to happen. You did whatever the hell you could to create the thing that was going to see you through the finish line. So you committed to saying, hey, I'm going to do this. And a lot of people heard you say it. And then you did whatever you need to do, create whatever you need to create it, carve out the time you need to carve out to actually bring it across the finish line. And it was super successful. And it's going to be a incredibly impactful program for the 6 weeks of all the women that are going to decide to sign up. I mean, it's a friggin' no-brainer. I mean, we can talk about this another time, and I know that you're going to do a great job throwing it all over your Instagram because it's literally a program on visibility. But my God, real quickly, just the idea of who these people are going to have access to, the speakers that are in the room, the Lindsays and the Loris and the Christinas. I mean, oh my God, it is who's who. It's who's who
I know.
for 6 weeks. I mean, good luck finding this all under one rooftop somewhere else. It doesn't exist.
Totally. I know. I'm so excited about it.
So,
Really.
in saying that, I commend you on it because what we're talking about here is, where people would get stuck in that scenario of the great intentions of wanting to do something special and powerful and big like this. They're waiting for, in some cases, not even necessarily the motivation. The motivation could be there. They feel lit up by it. They feel called to do it, but maybe not just this week. Maybe not next month. I have to wait until the kids get back to school or they leave the house or whatever the story is, waiting for whatever perfect timing story that they're telling themselves. And that's kind of the trap, because as sure as we're sitting here, the perfect timing of whatever it is you're forecasting down the road, that only gets replaced with something else that needs to be completed, something else that needs to be done, because that's life, right? That's the evolution of always having something to do. At one point or another, you will have to prioritize the thing that is on your mind as being the next thing to do.
Well, we see that. I don't want to say a lot at Benchmark, but certainly a few times in per quarter or certainly per year is seeing people that have taken the time and they've taken action. They had the intention, they took the action, and they booked their gym tour, private gym tour. And then they come through, they love everything they see. This is what they need help or support with, whatever their need is and why they are excited about this place. And they're there. They have taken the time that's anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to spend with us for a tour. And then they ask, like, oh, could you actually start my membership in 12 days from now? So, well, but you're here now. Why don't you just start now? So then you can come back tonight or tomorrow and you can take action immediately versus waiting, because there's going to be something that comes up and it's going to get in the way of taking action. And it's something that you and I think for our mindsets and work ethics, we don't always understand.
No.
Which that's, a nice thing about being humans. You can try to understand different things about different people. But the way our brain thinks is like, we just do it now. You're here.
Dude, you're here. You
And
got all the answers and you want to do it. I didn't drag you off the street. You found me.
You chose to come here. And what's the value of your time to come back and then kind of repeat the process? 5 minutes maybe instead of 20 minutes. But that's just a real life example. And I think with intentions, that is like the future planning. It's the future thinking and the future planning, which is great. But then you need to have the action to have the follow through.
Absolutely.
And make something of it.
How many of those great intentions, those great ideas, how many of them effectively die because of you getting in your own way? Of you thinking of, I will do this. Yes, I want to do this, but only when this happens first. So giving away that power for you to not be in control of it, for you not to make the definitive decision as to when it takes off the ground, knowing it's in your best interest. It's for the betterment of your overall, anything you want to call it, health, mindset, business, whatever it is, it's going to move the needle. And yet, because you haven't done it before, you're afraid of what it looks like once you start doing it. And so you just never start.
I heard a great podcast from Dan Martell the other day, and it was all about productivity. And I was listening to this at the gym, pairing it with some movement, which I love to do. And one of the things he was talking about was how this will save you time ultimately. Instead of writing something down or putting it in your task management software of, okay, email video Matt to book this shoot on this day and from this time, like I'm going to write myself this note to talk to our videographer about something. Why don't I just instead text Matt and do it that?
Yeah.
Or, we will order a lot of things off of Amazon for our home or the gym. So instead of me writing myself a note to order Swiffer pads for the gym, why don't I just open my Amazon app and order them and then that task is done?
Yeah.
And so that's the difference of having the intention and taking the action.
Yeah.
And this is little things like ordering Swiffer pads off of Amazon, or also doing the big thing that is more relatable to your business.
I remember my dad always telling me growing up, never leave for tomorrow what you can do today. And it's not something that other people haven't heard, but it resonates when you're 6 years old and realize what that means by the time you're 9 years old, and all of these things that then you carry through to whatever the next version of yourself very invariably becomes. The idea of not procrastinating, and if you can get it done now, get it done now, as long as it's obviously an action that doesn't take away from a different, bigger priority. If it can be done now, why would we drag our feet knowing that it doesn't have to be on our plate any longer, because it shouldn't take up that kind of space?
Well, I think something in terms of, and by no means am I going to give financial advice, that is not my zone of genius, but it's something that I learned later in life, and I wish I started sooner when it comes to the world of investing. That, okay, maybe you're not in a position where you can invest $10,000 every month into, X, Y, and Z areas, but you could probably put aside $1 a day or $5 a paycheck and starting small and still
Yeah.
getting in that practice of taking action versus thinking that, okay, when I'm 35 and I'm making a minimum of 100K, I'm going to start investing.
Yeah, and that just becomes the habits now that you're working on. It's not so much the dollars that are the result of that action, albeit that is a byproduct of it, obviously, but it's the habits of doing the right things and building your understanding of what it takes to meet the greatest future version of yourself, right?
And again, coming back to the gym, like that's such a great analogy. And I've really loved seeing that, we're coming up to 7 years of owning Benchmark Fitness. And the cute thing is that it is like we're entrepreneurs. This is the business that we own, but there's so many amazing analogies of what it is that we actually own and what we do as entrepreneurs
Yeah.
when it comes to the world of exercise and fitness and starting before you're ready. That we are now having a lot of really amazing active conversations with our community about longevity and people wanting to, they're not training for an Ironman or a marathon or high rocks. They are training to get stronger every day so that they can lift the suitcase up in the overhead bin when they're 78 and carry their grandchildren or carry groceries when they are 78. Of putting those reps in now, taking action now versus having the intention and thinking, okay, when I turn 60, I'm going to start exercising. They're doing it now.
And here's the thing: your self-belief rarely comes first, right? Confidence is going to come from the proof that you've done it, from doing the work, right? Once you've proven to yourself that you can do it, you build from there. And the proof becomes repeatable. The more you repeat what it is you sought out to do, the more confident it is you become in doing it again, in doing it next, right? The idea of I've long believed, from my days in sales and even what we do now, that the easiest time to sell something is immediately after I just sold something, because you've already proven to yourself, most importantly, that you can do it. And there are small shifts that happen in your behavior, in your mindset, in your word choice that signal the people around you that you know what the hell you're talking about. You're really good at what you do. And if they're here to take what you do seriously, they're not going anywhere else. You are the person who will be able to help them get over to the reason that they came to you in the first place for.
Quick question. Are you building your business or are you building it alone? If you're a business owner making between $25K and $500K and you're ready to scale smarter in 2026, the Mentor Collective Mastermind is where you need to be. You'll get direct mentorship from Chris and Lori Harder, support from a team of expert coaches, and real implementation and accountability support with me and Matt as your accountability coaches, making sure you actually execute and implement and not just consume. This is high-level strategy, powerful community, and the structure to grow without burning out. If you're ready for your next level in income, leadership, and life, join us for the Mentor Collective Mastermind. This beautiful journey of, you have the intention, but this is not what we're focusing on. Then you're taking the action. And then so that is the proof that you have, which also then gives you the confidence. And then it's also going to contribute to the identity that you have. So exactly in the world of when you were in sales with Porsche, that you are selling a car and then you're immediately taking action to sell another one. So now you've built this authority identity that Matt Aruda is a top Porsche salesperson, so who wouldn't want to go buy a Porsche from you?
Sure.
And it's this beautiful ripple effect. Plus, not to mention the energy that you are sitting in when you have sold something and then you're going to pour that energy into someone else. Or in the world of content, let's go back to my visibility masterclass. I had this amazing free masterclass, immediately sold spots in my program, feeling great, had this great energy. And I was really excited to go downstairs, leave my office, and go have a glass of wine to celebrate. But you know what I did instead? Before I did that, I was like, I'm buzzing off of endorphins and adrenaline and energy. I'm going to record a piece of content about exactly this. And it's great. And it has actually helped convert to more sales for the program.
That's exactly it, right? Because now you've sat in this belief of knowing that what you're doing will help people, and it just comes across naturally. Action will lead to proof. Proof will lead to confidence. Confidence leads to your identity. And you have all those things combined, and the idea of creating a new identity or shifting to a higher identity over and over again now becomes repeatable because you're able to prove the other steps with consistency.
And I think consistency has to be one of my favorite words. And it's applicable in so many areas, whether it's, how you show up into the gym and you put the reps in regularly to work on your fitness, but also how you take action. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's wonderful, and sometimes it is freaking
It's
hard.
just hard, man.
But you grow from it and you're going to be better because of it.
Yeah.
So let's leave them with, we talked about this again on another episode, like a bit of a framework, like
Sure.
some takeaways.
Something tangible.
We always want these episodes to provide value, which we love talking about this show anyways, is providing value, but something that you can also come back to or, write down if you're in a position to do so right now.
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is start before you're ready. Don't wait for the overwhelming sign. There's going to be no plane with a flag or a banner behind it in the sky above your house saying, now's the time. You just have to start, and it won't be perfect. And you could begin small, but you have to have visible, tangible actions. The idea of working on, you have a great example of you working on your pull-ups, and you couldn't do one a year and change ago. And now you're up to what, 6?
Yeah, 4 to 6.
Okay, let's give
Depends
you
on the
6.
day.
Let's give you 6.
Okay.
Let's give you 6. Now you're at 6, and that didn't just happen overnight, but you made the tangible shifts, and you continuously showed up. Consistency, and now you're at 6. And by this time next year, maybe you're at 8 or 10. Either way, you're putting in the work, and that's a small sample of what we're talking about here. But if you're looking to move the needle in anything, you have to show up, and you've got to start before you're ready.
Well, I think that even goes into like a step 2 for even micro consistency. And let's park pull-ups for a second. Let's even just talking about going to the gym. Maybe you don't go to the gym right now. So the fact that you're thinking of like trying to do 10 pull-ups, you're worlds from that. So maybe it is like, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes. And maybe you actually habit stack that with an audiobook or a podcast, or you catch up on emails or your task management software, whatever that may be. But you're just starting to take those little micro steps to build habits, put the reps in, build that consistency. And now you're going to the gym for 20 minutes and 30 minutes. And then maybe you get a trainer, and that trainer is going to help you strength train. And then you get into pull-ups. And then boom, you and me we're doing 10 pull-ups together. But you want to have a relatable to what it is that where you're currently at, to know, all right, this is how I'm going to take micro consistency and take those action steps.
Yeah, repetition is going to lead to your own motivation, right? You're going to be motivated because you know what you've done is repeatable, because you've shown up. And in some instances, not when you were ready, but you did it anyways, and you became more motivated because of it, which then naturally lent yourself to be in a position to do something else, to offer more help to a larger group at a larger scale. You pushed your boundaries out again. You raised your bar again. And you do this over time, slowly but surely. And ultimately, you look back and you can't help but feel how far you've come because you chose to show up with consistency.
And one thing before we go to step 3 when it comes to consistency, and let's talk about visibility here for a second, is I'm not going to necessarily encourage someone to go start a podcast or do an Instagram live if they've never really showed up on social. So maybe you start with a story. And maybe it's a story that you're filming. I'm looking at my dogs right now. So maybe you take a video of your dogs and you're talking. You can't show your face, but then maybe that turns into you talking to camera for an Instagram story. And then maybe you post a photo of yourself on your feed, and then that turns into a reel of a B-roll, and then a talking to camera reel. And you aren't necessarily always shocking your system, but you are going through those motions and you're putting those reps in consistently and taking that action.
Absolutely. Number 3, iterate and adjust. So action is going to create feedback, right? You're going to learn, you're going to tweak things, you're going to improve on things. The whole point of this is you're not waiting for the perfect moment or for perfect conditions to be the incubator for you to then launch something. You're going to show up, and if it needs to be adjusted in any capacity, that's part of the game. And I would say with confidence that even if you showed up with the most or the greatest amount of mastery in what you do, the likelihood of you not tweaking something every time isn't very realistic either. We're constantly always learning and evolving. And if it's not us who's evolving, the world around us is evolving, which then by nature means you need to evolve with it before you become a past part of what that world actually needed you for. So showing up is one thing, but once you're there, you've got to still, I think, remain fluid enough to know that you need to adjust with the who and the what is going to need your time moving forward from there.
Well, I think this is a good opportunity for a bit of a reflection moment, a self question, a prompt, if you will. Is there something in your life or business, personal or professional, where you could take an action step? And from a business standpoint, maybe it's actually just sending one email
Mm-hmm.
or one DM. And then that turns into 3 DMs or 5. And you're building on those action steps one at a time. So I think that it would be a great takeaway for people to think about listening to this episode is where can they take action steps? Or again, going back to the gym, is there something that you're currently doing, but like, could you up level a little bit and take action on something else?
Yeah.
If you always do cardio and you like only go to the gym and use the treadmill, could you go lift some weights?
Question mark?
Question mark?
So ultimately, look, intentions matter, right? Like they are the thought that precedes anything else moving forward. So you need to have a good intention for you to be impactful. But the intentions won't make a difference if they are not paired with action. A lot of us, the vast majority of us, are full of great intentions. We all have great plans of where we want to go and who we want to impact and what we want our businesses to look like. But until you actually move towards that in some capacity, even if it's the smallest capacity, until there's action taken on it, it can only ever just exist in your mind. And that would be the biggest shame of all, for you to not share what lives there and knowing the impact that it could have with everybody else because you were waiting for the right time.
Mm-hmm. And not getting stuck in that like analysis paralysis
Yeah.
and this hamster wheel of our minds that I don't know about you guys listening and watching, but there's a lot of stuff going on up in my head. And that is why it is so important for me to think of something and take action on it. Or at least make a note and a plan of, okay, what this is how and when I'm going to take action on it if I can't do it right that moment. But that is something, and that is a skill that Matt and I have actively been working on as we've grown into entrepreneurs over the last 6+ years. And it's something I'm really proud of for you and I. I think we've gotten really, really great at taking action. And we say this often, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I was just saying this to a new member of our Mentor Collective Mastermind community in an onboarding call, how Matt and I, as many of you know, we just recently moved into a beautiful new home, which is where we're recording from right now. And we moved in, and I swear, like 2 days later, you had changed the front hall entrance light. You and your dad, 5 days later, did wall molding. Boxes were all unpacked.
2 weeks later, we're replacing floors in the basement and the front
Yes.
entrance. It kind of continues to go. The other day, we're like, it'd be cool. What do you even call them? The bookshelf.
Oh, the bookshelf. It's like a secret bookshelf that
Oh, yeah.
you pull a book or a handle and then it opens. Very excited for a secret. It's like a secret
So
dwelling
now we're building
bookshelf.
one.
Yeah, so now we're building one.
Yeah.
My point here is that we had some friends over, a couple weeks, 2 weeks in of moving into our new home, and they could not believe how settled we were. And that was another opportunity for Matt and I to reflect on, good for us, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. We chose to move into a new home. Let's take action and let's get settled. Let's do some of the work that we want to do to make this place super beautiful and super cozy. And that is how we do. And that's how we do in business when it comes to, making time to see friends if they don't live here, of making that intentional choice that is followed through with action.
Yeah, so maybe that's exactly it. Pick one thing that you've been intending to do, right? And maybe that's the challenge that we leave you guys with here is there's got to be one thing that has been rolling around your mind for far too long. And whether that be in your business, in your life, maybe it's a fitness example that Ali's spoken about on this podcast up to this point. Either way, there's something there. Just do it today. You're going to hear this podcast at whatever time it is of the day, whatever it is that comes to the forefront of your mind. When I say, what's that one thing that's lingering? Do something to move towards getting it done right now. Whether it's physically getting it done or sending the email to the person that can move it along a little bit closer or a little bit sooner. I'm telling you, don't plan for it. Don't wait. Just do it.
Boom.
Yeah.
Maybe that's joining the Visibility Accelerator.
We should definitely let the people know that they should join the Visibility Accelerator.
Assuming there's spots left.
That's a good point. There's only so many seats because there's only so many coaches, and you don't want to make sure that they are spread too thin amongst too big of a room, right? Especially with these coaches. They like the intimacy of a small, high-touch room.
Yes. So we'll put everything in the show notes. We start March 19th. We are so excited about this program, and all the details will be in the show notes if you want to secure a spot for yourself. And while you're busy being action takers, you might as well go ahead and leave a 5-star rating or review or share this episode with a friend.
Just do it.
In your stories. Just do it.
Right?
Exactly. Thank you all so much for watching, listening. We love you guys, and we will see you again soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, it would mean so much to me if you took a few seconds and shared this on social media, sent it to a friend, or left a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I'm so grateful to have you part of mine.